This is the best possible start to Arc Raiders. I'm going to teach you how to get ahead of the pack on launch day. I'm going to teach you how to level up quickly, get good loot, where to go to get loot, how to play, the settings that you need, everything. And so let me get started right away. As soon as you load into the game the first time, you're going to be presented with a settings menu. One thing that's very important if you want to play with other players, as in you want to queue up with 2 other randos, you want to switch your open mic to push to talk, alright? Otherwise, they're going to hear every time you clear your throat, you talk to your mom, or when the vacuum is running. So do everyone a favor and turn on push to talk. Now, upon booting the game the first time, you're going to click all settings, and there's a few important settings here. So let me move the text down for you, and what we're going to do, actually we can hide the text, is we're going to go to gameplay, alright? And so you want to make sure that if you are on PC and you want easy opponents, that you turn crossplay on. Console kiddos are the easiest targets ever, but if you're on console, you want to turn crossplay off so that you don't fight PC chads, alright? Also, cheaters will be in this game. There's already cheats out in the beta currently. And so, if you want to avoid cheaters as a console player, you would turn crossplay off so that you're not matched against PC players. Next up, under controls, you can change anything that you might need, but just be aware of one certain thing. You have a push-to-talk button for your teammates, and you have a push-to-talk for proximity voice chat. So, if you want to talk to the enemy, just be aware it's a different button, alright? And then, again, under graphics, if you are on computer, I recommend that you limit your frame rate. There has been a few people reporting that with an unlimited frame rate that it stressed their GPU and did some damage to it. But other than that, you should be pretty much fine. Under audio, the default settings are generally fine. Just make sure that your mic is set up properly so you can talk to people. Alright, other than that, there's really not too much else that you need to worry about. I do want to point out one thing. Console players have aim assist. And what that means is that if you use a tool as a console or a controller user, rather, to emulate your mouse as a controller, you can get aim assist. But this game it's not really the hardest shooting game, so I don't condone those kinds of tools, but just be aware that they do exist. As far as the tutorial goes, there's no real way to skip it, so just run through it as quick as possible. And no, you don't get to keep the loot you get. There is a fun little trick you can do in the tutorial. So, whenever you breach this door for the first time, raiders will come and kill you and take all your stuff, leaving you at critical health. So what you can do is if you want to keep your stuff, or this is just for the tutorial, just for funsies, you can actually stash your starter pistol and bullets and everything else in a container and then go grab it and pick it back up. You don't get to keep this after the tutorial. That would be a super duper cheat code if you could, because this is a pretty powerful starter pistol that you won't be able to get for quite a while. One little tip that I want to give you during the tutorial and to use in your general gameplay is that if your inventory is full and you can't pick up anything else, like I can't pick up this fertilizer, you can always try to salvage whatever is in a container. In this case, I'm going to get some seeds, which will then add to the seeds that I have in the safe pocket, which would not be the ideal thing to put in your safe pocket, but it's the tutorial, so who cares. But if you are a loot goblin, then salvage everything to condense things down. It'll make things that much easier. I want to talk about character creation for just a little bit. If you are not accustomed to shooting games, extraction games, and so on and so forth, one of the most important things that you can do for your character is have a very weird facial profile that does not look like a human and is not skin colored. So what you want to do, if you don't care about how your character looks, try to make sure that your head is completely covered with like a baklava or anything else, because this will help you greatly indoor environments and outdoor environments. So you do not want to make a pasty, white, easy to identify human face looking character. You want your character to be as dark as possible. You want your your character's hair profile, or just the face in general, to not stick out at all. So generally you would want to go bald here. And as far as face style goes, anything like this everything that makes it look less, alright, is going to help you. As far as the profile, this doesn't matter. Now, outfits. Again, you want something that makes your face or your head a complete solid color, preferably. So you almost always want to use headgear. But in certain cases, you don't want bright colors. This would be better because there's very little skin showing. It's also green, so it blends in with grass. Whereas something like this, you can clearly, like, there's rainbow colors. Like, this is very easy to see. So you want to go, again, with the smallest profile that you possibly can and turn all the other extra stuff off. Goggles, well, yeah, that makes it a little bit harder to tell. And you definitely want helmet on. And, again, you want the smallest, most naturally colored looking thing that you can have for your character. This will dramatically increase your odds of survival. Once you're in the game, it's going to give you a starter quest to go to any loot location on the map. Pretty simple stuff. I recommend that you don't play with other people until you're a little bit more competent with how the game works. But what I want you to do first and foremost is go into the trader camp here, and you're going to push tab, and you're going to take every single thing off, alright? Every single thing off. Also, apparently you get to keep the pistol. So, it's not really worth much. It's only 2,900, but it is a start. But you'll notice right now we have 27 out of 64 stash slots. And one of the first things that we're going to be spending our cash on is the expansion upgrade, which is 5,000 coins, which is all of our coins right now. But I'm going to show you how to make money and farm this up and make it super quick because you kind of want to be a loot goblin. But a few tips, whenever you go down here to the miscellaneous tab, you're going to have like tuna cans, expired pasta, a pottery, stuff like that, right? Not assorted seeds. Don't sell seeds, but anything with this little diamond icon, you can just right-click it and sell it. There you go. But that's slow menuing. So hold control, click multiple things, right-click, and sell them that way. I don't know why people are buying expired pasta for 2,000 coins or whatever, but hey, it works out in our favor. So anytime you get crap like that, just go ahead and sell it. As far as these other things, just let them stack up in your inventory for now. So what we're going to do, the best thing that you can do is go to the play button, click the play button down here, and don't do night raids. Night raids, they have very strong, very high aggro arc bots that will just wreck you. It's very hard to extract on night raids. The loot is slightly better, but even though the loot is slightly better, it is just not worth doing until you are higher tier, because you cannot kill the robots that are guarding the exits. And the only real way to extract on night raid is to open the exit, get blown up by a rocket bot, and then crawl your way to the exit and then hit the button. But that's going to damage your gear. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the damn Battlegrounds, which is the first map. Even though it has difficulty of 3, don't worry about difficulty. You're going to hit confirm. And what you're going to do on this screen, all right, let me show you exactly what to do here. You're going to click free loadout. This is because we are tier 0 right now. We are tier 0. We have no crafting bench. We have no gear. Yeah, you could bring this Rattler 3. You can't get a Rattler 3 for a while. You don't want to lose this early. And if you did the trick with the pistol, hiding the pistol, yeah, you have a pistol, and this will win you fights. But right now, we're not about winning fights. In order to win a fight one-on-one, you have to play it kind of like Fortnite. You need 2 weapons, and whenever you mag dump on your first weapon, you swap to your second weapon instead of reloading and finish off the player. I'm going to talk about time to kill, DPS, early game, all of that stuff. But right now, you're just going to click free loadout, and you're going to click ready up, okay? And what that's going to do is it's going to give you an entire random kit, a random gun, 3 random support items. You always get bandages, I think 2 bandages. You're going to have a starter shield, all of it for completely free. Right now, this is the best value. The only downside is that you don't have a safe pocket, which means if you're doing like a very specific quest or trying to get a very rare drop, you won't be able to save it on death. And that's fine, because all we're doing is we're just going to do some very minor looting to get our crafting benches started. And once we get our crafting benches starting to level up, you're going to snowball like crazy. You want to gear up as fast as possible, and this is the way to do it. As soon as you jump into the game, look at the timer at the top of your screen. I'm showing 29 minutes and 30 seconds, meaning this match has only been alive for 30 seconds. Alright, if it's around 15 minutes, then that means a lot of things are going to be looted. So, open your map and go to the nearest loot zone. Alright, that is preferably red. Like in this case, I'm equal distance from yellow and red. Red is a higher loot zone, though they do have different loot. And you generally just want to learn these loot zones as you play. So, I'm just going to middle click and put a map marker here. And I'm going to run there, and all we're doing is a loot run right now. We are just trying to grab as much crap as we can and extract with it. That's our entire goal. It's not to kill players. It's not to kill robots. We are just looting so that we can craft more of our crafting benches. I actually got an okay starter kit. I got one with a defibrillator, which I can't use as a solo. Smoke grenades. These are worth good money, so we want to extract them. We don't want to use these. 2 bandages. We have a rattler and a light shield. The rattler is not a good starter weapon at all. It kills small robots good, and that's it. Not big ones. But generally, you want to avoid most fights with the robots, with the arc bots, and just loot. So, because the match just started, there should be loot in here. And we're just going to grab as much crap as we can cram into our pockets and extract. And that's basically it. Even though, like, fertilizer and stuff in this building, the loot is generally the same. Like, you're gonna, like, in here, once you start learning the buildings and where loot is, it's almost always the same stuff. But it's a little bit random and it's a little bit not. Also, tumbleweeds kind of grab your attention sometimes. You'll think it's a player running in the distance, but it's just a tumbleweed. So make sure those graphic settings are set to high. See here, I mostly have a full inventory, and so what I'm going to try to do is just salvage these things, because that way I can get more loot out. And you generally don't want to extract until you are over encumbered in weight, and that's generally how it goes. And most loot zones have an extraction point. They look like this. They have the little down arrow, and you want to make sure that when you mouse over it, it doesn't say Raider hatch key required. In this case, I can't go here, but I can go here, so I'm going to put a waypoint there, because my inventory is full, and I can still continue to loot on the way there, of course, but I just want to make sure that I know where I'm supposed to go. And because the match just started and we have a full inventory, most likely we're not going to run into anyone else also trying to extract. Also, just be aware of noises. If you hear footsteps, shooting, you know, anything of the sort, that means there's players nearby, and you can play it stealthily. You can play it noisily. It's however you want to do it. But one thing to keep in mind is that you can change your camera angle to look around corners with the third-person camera to give yourself a small advantage. You're going to learn these things as you play. Get downed by the robots. Oh, there's a player in here. He's not going to let me extract. But if you get downed by the robot, maybe he will. Maybe he will. But if you're downed, you can still extract. Is he going to kill me? Yeah, he's going to kill me. But you can crawl to the computer control console. If again, if there's no players, you can crawl to the computer console as long as the doors are open. The robots won't kill you after you're downed, and you can then from the ground use the computer to extract. But you know, that's just how it is. You probably will die a bunch of times, but you just keep going back. And even though we didn't extract with anything, we still, you know, killed some small robots, we scavenged some stuff, so you're still leveling up, you're still doing quests, you're still getting stuff done. Just keep slamming your head into it until you get some items, and even if you don't get anything, even for successfully yeah, it's teaching me the skill tree. I'm going conditioning first. We'll talk about that later. But as you play, you have this Scrappy Rooster that will give you random parts, which you can claim. So even if you play and lose and extract with nothing, you're still getting some basic stuff, alright? As a solo player, your big early game threats, because we're in tier 0 gear, is the arc bots, and the best way to avoid them is to be indoors. So you want to be indoors looting rather than outdoors looting. That means you should go to indoor locations. Another tip, too, is that when you go indoors to loot, you should always shut doors behind yourself. Oh, and by the way, you can actually disable these. Well, you used to be able to. It's not working for some reason, but yeah. You can also use these noise indicators. Oh, there's a robot. But generally, you don't want to kill small things like this with a gun. You want to be quiet about it, but again, the less noise you make, the harder it is for other players to know you're there. But because I was able to rush and get here at the very start of the match, there's probably not anyone else here yet. But again, doors opening, metal detectors going off, all those kinds of things. Just be aware, and when there are players, well, generally, you want to outgun them. You want to have 2 weapons, you want to have grenades, and if you can get the jump on someone, you will generally be in a better position. But if someone is teaming, then you might not always be able to do that. Hey, look at that, we got a pistol. Yeah, so now we're freaking geared, right? So now we're pretty geared. We can absolutely take on other players. We have, you know, shields, meds, 2 guns. You know, we're ready to rock and roll. So if we hear a player, we could, you know, take the risk and go hunt them down in these indoor zones. And also, yeah, you can shoot the camera so that they'll stop beeping at you whenever they see you. But again, just be aware that each little like indoor zone has its own little sound tells that that give away your position. And once you learn them, you can easily find other players to fight. One thing to keep in mind is render distance. So you can see that if I'm this far away, I can't see the player up in the ledge, but if I get a little bit closer, things start to kind of pop in there, or details pop in and out. So you can only see things so far away when it comes to buildings because there's a lot of assets, but if it was an open field, you could see people a lot further away. So I did see that there is a player up there, and I've just got to be a little bit careful because I do have some pretty good stuff here to extract with. So, moment of truth, we have bots outside. There's a rocket bot in this area too, and those things will one-shot you. But we're just gonna run in, hit the computer super quick, and see if we can get out. We did manage to kill a player. I think we wounded another one. But yeah, all in all, pretty solid run actually. Had to play a little safe, a little stealthy, but hey, we did it. So let me show you what that looks like when you do finally extract with some good stuff. And again, the game will show you all the players that you've interacted with. Luckily for me, people were like talking in proximity chat to each other, and so I could pin exactly where they were. You can see player interactions. We did a knockout. This dude got hit by a rocket bot, was wounded, turned around. I was right behind him. I just unloaded into him. Easy loot. I didn't bother looting him because I already had a full inventory of really good stuff here. But yeah, we're just going to be rinsing and repeating. And so here's the cool thing too about once you extract with the free kit is that not only do you get to keep everything that the free kit gives you, you can sell it for easy money. It's a real easy, quick way to farm money. And yes, the game's trying to teach me the workshop stuff at the moment. But essentially what you want to do is every time that you extract with a free kit, you just want to dump it into your stash, dump everything in your stash, and you're going to have these free loadout augments, which you then take to, I forget which trader it is. It's not security. Let's see. Yeah, you go to the clinic, you go to Lance, and you can trade your kit for combat, looting, or tactical. So I want to talk about these real quick. The combat kit is when you start getting shield level 2s. The looting kit gives you more inventory space, and the tactical gives you one extra grenade slot, really, which is not even... It's pretty dumb to have this one. You should really never pick tactical. They all sell for the same amount, but you do want to be trading these in your free kit for the looting and later for the combat one. So again, just make sure that you trade those in every once in a while and then just sell them. That's all there is to it. So for the skill tree, let's talk about the skill tree real quick. I believe that you should, it's whatever you really like to do. You should really check out some of the middle tier perks here, which require 15 points of investment before you're even allowed to put points into them. For me, I really like the conditioning tree because we have, you can breach things faster, and if you have a slow breach time, when you're getting those really, really rare loot crates, which are like big pillar things that make a lot of noise, that's where the best loot in the game is. And those things take upwards of 20 to 30 seconds to breach. But whenever you have a lot of conditioning and you have a lot of points into breaching, it's like 5 seconds. So this is why I always go conditioning, because I'm a loot goblin, alright? And it just helps you move around the map faster and more efficiently. Especially with, you know, wearing a shield doesn't wear you down or slow you down. You can carry more loot. I just like the conditioning tree, but you're free to go whatever path you want. So anytime you see like a little circle here on one of the traders, that means that you either completed a quest for them or they have a quest to give. Right now, the gameplay loop is simple. You go in with your free kit, you grab as much scrap as you can. Once you're done, you go to Scrappy and collect extra scrap. You go and see if you can craft any of these extra workbenches, and once you do, you level them up. And then as you level up your workbenches, for instance, like once you unlock, say, the Gunsmith 1, and then you get Gunsmith 2, as you run around these maps and loot, you're going to get blueprints for more guns, and with a higher tier Gunsmith workbench, you will be able to craft better guns, and so on and so forth, and with a better gear bench, you can craft better shields, and once you have shields tier 2 and guns tier 2, then you can really start to mess with and fight other players, and really, like, fight the bots as well if you want to go bot hunting. But right now, what's mainly important is make sure you're grabbing every quest from the traders, that you're upgrading your workshop as soon as you can, that you're not spending money at the... You don't need to spend money right now at the traders. You don't need to buy any of this stuff. You can if you want it, but you don't really need it. Like, wires, I need 6 of these for a quest. So yeah, I could buy, you know, 4 of them right now with assorted seeds, but I don't have enough assorted seeds, and so on and so forth. But it's easier just to loot this stuff randomly, and as you play, like, that's the whole point of playing the game, is to play the game, right? You're going to be getting these as you open containers, as you open things, you're going to be getting these, and you may be having some bad luck if you're trying to extract and you're constantly getting killed either by the robots or other players, and that does happen, but eventually you're going to get the drop on someone, you're going to kill them, they're going to be full of loot, and then when you extract with that loot, it's going to feel damn good. So just keep slamming your head into it until it happens. You will, as you play, you're going to get more situationally aware, you'll see what works and what doesn't. It's pretty simple to progress. You've been playing just a little bit, let's talk about a little bit more advanced movement. So anytime you're moving down a hill, you should be sprint crouching, which is a slide. This is going to save you stamina, and once you have more levels into conditioning and other movement perks, this will actually massively increase your movement speed. It also makes it gives you a lower profile. It doesn't make noise. It makes a tiny bit, but it's not something someone's going to hear across the map or anything. It also lowers fall damage. So again, this is how you save your stamina. Also, don't be running with your gun out unless you need it. When you holster everything that you're carrying, you are way more efficient with stamina. This lets you traverse the map much, much faster. So just kind of get used to it. I know it's goofy and it's not something you would do in real life, but it's just something you got to get used to in this game. And I see movement up. Like, I saw movement right here. I saw pixels. So that could be a player. So what you can do is, some guns have a bit of zoom. You could zoom in. That looks like a person. I can't tell, though. I can't... Yeah. That's players. Look, they're fighting. Look at that. Boom. He sent out a flare. So what you can do is third party this if you want. I just have a Rattler, which is not good enough to fight. But, you know, if these two guys duke it out and then I swoop in and finish them off, hey, that's free loot for me. So it's something I gotta decide to do if I want to or not. So I managed to get his ass. I threw a grenade and then popped him in the head a few times, and that was a pretty easy kill. But yeah, he's got a full inventory of stuff. So there we go. He had grenades. He had a tier 4 Rattler. Look at this. He's got the anvil. Hell yeah. We're getting loaded up, boyos. Right? So again, he was a very easy kill. And I say that even though I'm low health. All of my health that I lost was from the damn arc bots flying around outside that I aggroed. So I just got to be careful looting this guy. Make sure that I'm listening for the bots. Make sure that they don't fly by and see me and start tasing me. And so on. I want to point out something for later questing. You're going to need to find what's called field depots. They look like this. They have a little antenna on the top. They're just randomly around the map. And sometimes you'll have to climb on top and repair an antenna. Sometimes you have to get this box thing. But you can find this box thing that I'm holding randomly just in buildings nearby. And then you just put it in here. And that will complete the quest. That is a field crate, by the way. But if you're not on a quest, still doing this gives you good gear. Like, I managed to get this this shotgun. This is a pretty nice shotgun. Also got a new shield that's, if you do find a shield, like on a player or whatever, and you don't have the recharge, well, not on a player because you obviously killed them, but if you happen to find a shield, just like anywhere, you can take your current shield off and put that one on, and that's it recharges your shield essentially. So instead of extracting, if you've already got lots of looted money and you don't need looted money anymore, if you get good guns, you can go kill a bunch of arc bots and farm XP that way to level up your character super freaking quick. So again, if you don't feel like risking an extraction and getting shot in the back by a player or a rocket bot or whatever, you can literally go find one of the flying bots that's a scout bot. They have a big blue, like, searchlight. Let me see if I can see one. That is not it. That's a regular one. But no, they're kind of round looking and they fly in the sky with a blue searchlight. Let it see you. It'll summon a bunch of enemy bots for you to fight, but don't kill the floating, you know, round one with the blue searchlight. You can infinitely farm, well, not infinitely, you can farm enemy bots until you're out of ammo. And that's another way to play this game that I have not seen a single YouTuber or Twitch streamer talk about. It is one of the fastest ways to level up in this game. I'm heading to this extraction, and I heard someone activate the sound. Now, what I've got here, I've got 2 grenades, 2 heavy grenades and a blaze grenade. So I'm going to just try to play it stealthily, and once he goes in, I'm going to chunk a bunch of nades, and then run in and kill him, and then extract. And that's my plan, but I don't want him to catch me, so I'm going to be really, really sneaky. I know I'm out in the open right now. I should be hiding in bushes, but it's about a 30-second wait from when they push the button. But as soon as those doors open, he's going to... Yeah, so they're starting to open right now, I think, maybe. But yeah, let's see how I do. And I've got some pretty good guns, so I can outgun him probably, maybe. But yeah, so there it is, and there he goes. Does he? Oh, does he see me? No, he does not. Hooah! So yeah, we're just gonna nade the crap out of him. And if I hit him, I hit him. If not, I don't. All right, and I got a shotgun. Let's go. Where's he at? Did he run out? He might have ran out. Okay, I don't know where he's shooting me from. I lost sight of him. Oh yeah, that was a big hit. Is he downed? He is downed. Now, I'm also getting killed here too. But I'd rather kill this guy than extract with loot because I'm a troll. But there we go. Let's see if I can get it. Before... He might have a partner that's going to shoot me in the back, but... Alright, there we go. And... we can search now. Again, if I was greedy, I could have searched him, but he's dead. He did not get to extract. He is full dead. So that guy lost, and we won. And here's the thing. Am I being a dick? Yes. Am I getting extra bonus XP for this? Yes, absolutely, right? So yeah, we got a fat stack. We got a tier 4 gun off a guy that we killed. We got this from the special loot crate that you have to deliver a battery to. This is an all-around really good run here, and you can see here that again, we're earning a lot of points because we're killing a lot of robots with these higher tier guns. And again, I'm a brand new account. I'm literally level 2. Okay, all right. And you get these you get credits for doing all this stuff. So yeah, you get skill points and player interactions. Let's see. So yeah, I received damage from these two, it says, but I'm again managed to survive, killed 2 people, got a lot of good loot. Again, this is how you play the early game. Now, as you play, your stash is going to fill up with stuff. That's why you use the expand stash function. Spend your coins. There's nothing better to spend your coins on this early than stash expansions. And again, we could always sell the things that we're, finding here too. So let's go ahead and just throw everything into the stash. You can also sort it by value, right? So, for instance, sterilized bandages, they're pretty good, but I think that sterilized bandages, they're not in the meta. You can get these medical shot things. You might have found one in the tutorial. I think it's a tier 3 or tier 4 item. I forget. It's been a while since I've played the last beta, but that thing heals you to full very quickly. A sterilized bandage, it heals you like 50, 75% of the way, but it still takes charge time to use. They're kind of annoying to craft. They're also annoying to find. So in my opinion, just sort by value and sell things that you're not going to use. Like, for instance, this blueprint, this is the Tina blueprint. If you want to collect all the blueprints, you totally can. Here's that shotgun I got, the Wolfpack thing here. Now, this Wolfpack grenade is amazingly good for killing the very strong arc bots. If you bring about 2 to 3 of these, you can kill the spiders very easily. Again, this is for PvE. This is for XP farming later. But, 3,000 credits early on is pretty nice. This Rattler 4 is heavily damaged, and, we could repair it, whatever. But again, we don't have the parts. So you could just sell broken stuff and always get more. It's really however you want to play it. But at some point, as you play, like, if you just sit down and play for a single day, like a 1 8-hour session, right? You're going to have a very high stash, even if you're expanding it constantly. And you're going to just start selling all of these crappy things. Like Rattler 1s, I never bring these because, again, anything I can get from a freebie kit, I'm not going to, like, hold on to. So, like, these Rattler 1s, you can just sell them, whatever. But yeah, just continue questing, continue expanding your stash, continue building out your workshop. That's basically it. And then once you have all of these things leveled up, then you can start either going to the traders and buying the good guns. Like early on, if you don't have a good, gun bench, you can buy these anvil ones. These things are really good. Another thing too, again, we're talking about PvE farming. We're not talking about farming players here. I'm going to talk about farming players in a little bit, but it's also important to learn how to level up your character. Just by looting and extracting isn't enough XP. You need to be killing the robots. And so the best thing that you can do to kill smaller or medium-sized robots, and by medium I mean the flying ones with 4 rotors, is the Pharaoh. All right, this thing. This has the stat we care about on guns is arc armor penetration. You can see this weapon has strong armor penetration. You can see that the Anvil 1 here has strong armor penetration. So your loadout would be the Pharaoh 1 and the Anvil 1, right? Whereas like this weapon, the Hairpin 1, You can kill robots, even though it says very weak armor pen, you can kill the smaller ones in about 5 to 8 shots if you're landing the crit spots, which is the rotors. The small rotors, by the way. Whereas the kettle one, again, very weak. We have the Stitcher one, also very weak arc armor penetration. However, the Stitcher one is your best in slot medium range time to kill gun for players. I'm going to talk about that later. We also have the Berletta one, very weak, and again, the Toro one, also weak. Not very weak, but still weak. So, you really only have 2 options for PvE farming. And if you're going to PvE farm, I highly, highly recommend that you click this fill squad button and you play with randos, alright? And you can follow them around. They'll be your bodyguards, they'll be your loot mules. But essentially, if they kill something, you get XP for it. If you kill something, they get XP for it. So, the way it works is, it's just more people for PvE farming, alright? And this will be a thing once the game comes out and the metas become more defined. But until then, this is how you level up quick and early. Another important thing that I want to talk about when doing loot runs, once you have an established kit and you're not using the free kits anymore, is the Raider Hatch Key, which in one of the betas you could craft this. I don't know if you can craft this in the future. I think they changed that. But you would put this in your safe pocket, and once you have an inventory full of loot, you would just go in naked for looting purposes. You would use this to quick extract instantly without having to wait for doors to open or fighting other players. It's really the best way to loot Goblin is using these things, and 9,000 is a paltry cost, okay? It costs nothing, right? And, yeah, once you use the key on the terminal, the key is consumed, so you can't just, like, keep this in your safe pocket and reuse it over and over again. But 9,000 is literally nothing when you're going to be looting huge amounts of items that are worth 20 to 30,000 a run. So, yeah, you're losing 1/3 of your monetary loot, but by then, money doesn't matter anymore. Money is just there to watch a number go up until they release more reasons to spend money on things. So let's recap real quick. So very, very early on, you're going to be using the free kits to just grab loot, upgrade your workbenches, and just do basic quests. Once you're upgraded, you're going to use heavy armor penetration weapons to farm arc bots in groups of 3 with randos, or if you have friends, congrats, bro. I don't have any friends. But you're going to be doing that to farm XP. Next up, for loot runs, you're going to use your safe pocket with a hatch key to go to high tier zones and snatch and grab everything, preferably on a night run, but it really depends. I think they're going to be nerfing the night runs hatches where you have to publicly extract, so that might be out. The loot is still not worth doing night runs for. That's more of a 3's Sweatlord team, you know, pre-mating in a Discord, alright? Not really for solo players. Now, once you're in max upgraded gear, you're level capped, you have the best in slot gear, everything's upgraded, there's nothing left to buy, spend, craft, upgrade, or quest. Here's what you're going to be doing in the game, alright? So you're going to be doing the Arc raid bosses with groups, and you can do this before you're level capped, but again, it's kind of hard for me to show you on this new account because I'm not going to join a map and luckily find one of these, but it's a giant spider boss. Not the ones that jump at you and like crash and, you know, tumble around. No, I'm talking, these things are like massive. They're like the size of a baseball field, I guess, or maybe not that big, but they're pretty damn big. They're like a small building, okay? And they summon a bunch of other bots and other medium-sized bots. They're a raid boss fight, and what people are doing, or what they're going to also do when the game more so launches, is they're going to get into these Discord servers where everyone is going to agree to work together, and they're all going to queue up at the exact same time on the same map to fight these raid bosses, and then that's how they're going to distribute the loot based on like a GDKP or honor system or something, I don't know. So after that, if you're not into that, which I'm not, you would exfil camp. That's right. You're going to set up post near an extraction point with your super god tier gear and your full kit of grenades, and you're just going to torment every single person that tries to leave. All right. Also, roof snipe camping. You're going to sit on a very tall building or a rooftop, and you're just going to snipe people that go into high populated areas or very well wide open areas with no cover. This is the state of the game. If you've played Tarkov, if you played any other extraction shooter, this is what the game devolves into, and the only real way to get around this is to have wipes or some sort of system where you prestige back to a new player and you're not as strong anymore, but we'll see what Arc Raiders does to combat these in-game problems. I want to talk about shields just super quick. Unlike Fortnite, they do not absorb damage, they reduce damage. Alright, so when you have a shield and you take a bullet, You still take HP damage, however, you take reduced HP damage, and when you're being shot by the strongest weapons in the game, the light shield will absorb 1 extra hit, the medium shield is 2 extra hits, and the heavy shield is 3 extra hits, and that's basically it. Though the heavy shield makes you incredibly slow, the medium shield or the tier 2 shield is the current meta for PvP, so that's generally what you want to do. And you can start to buy these very early on. Once you have a huge surplus of money, you should always go to the trader every time, go to the clinic, and you'll notice here that they have the medium shield for 6,000, which is an absolute great deal. And what you want to do is you would bring a medium shield, you would bring a shield recharge pack, just one. Alright, because chances are you won't even get to use it. You don't need the Surge Shield Recharger, alright? Even though it is faster, it's just not cost-effective and not necessary. And that is going to be your basic loadout. You have to run the Combat MK1 loadout, which you'll have plenty of by recycling your free loadout augments from extractions. So, that's the basic loadout. Combat MK1, and then medium shield level 2, and then if you're farming arcs, you're going to be doing high armor pin, but if you're farming players, I'm going to show you the best way to get time to kill with the early guns. After leveling for a bit, you unlock this practice range. You get to play around with all of the gear. You could also bring your own gear in if you want. This zone will give you ammo, so if you have like a powerful weapon that you want to try out, you absolutely can, but the zone has its own guns that you can just pick up and shoot things with. And I'll show you how it works and explain time to kill and how you can use the shooting range to figure out what works for you. Once you reach the shooting range, it looks like this, and I just want to kind of go over. You have like ammo crates, medkit crates, weapon crates, a zipline that you can kind of learn to use. It's important to learn how to use the zipline if you are doing like team stuff. But I want to talk about the target dummies. So on the left here, you have a light, medium, and heavy shielded enemy, human player, that simulates a real player. And then here in the middle, you have a human player that has no shields. So if you're fighting an unshielded opponent, light, medium, and heavy shields, this is how you test time to kill. You also have the weakest arc bot, which only has 2 rotors, alright? And so, the weak point to kill these things is you shoot the rotors and not the main body. And for this bot that only has 2 rotors, just killing 1 rotor makes it unusable. It'll fly around and crash on the ground and die. And then as you go down deeper into the shooting range, there should be a 4-rotor enemy somewhere. Or at least there was in the last beta. I'm not seeing it. Maybe it's up there, yeah. You have like the beefier ones. They're around here somewhere, but you can explore and figure out yourself. Now, if the robots have 4 rotors, you need to kill at least 2 of them, and that will cause it to destabilize and go crashing on the ground. You can also play around with a zipline that's already been deployed. There's a lot you can do here, but I want to talk about time to kill, which is the most important thing in shooting games, battle royale games, extraction games, and that is if you and an enemy start shooting each other and you have similar skill and similar aim, which one will kill the other one first? I want to talk about headshot damage as well. Headshot damage in this game, while it does deal more damage, it does not deal significantly more damage to the point where you should always prioritize it. Though once you get really good at aiming, say a sniper, and your target isn't moving erratically, yeah, you would go for the headshot, of course. Some guns have more headshot damage than others. For instance, right now, I'm running a Stitcher 1 and a Kettle 2, and essentially the Stitcher is your early game best time to kill weapon. Alright, it's a medium range. Think of this as like a submachine gun, right? You just fully unload, and there we go. So, just a single mag, a single 20-shot mag on an unshielded target kills them. If you want to know if the target dummy has been killed, it will lower down. So, there we go. That's 1 hit. That's 2 hits with the melee weapon to kill an unshielded humanoid, right? Whereas if I melee a heavy shielded humanoid, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits with the melee weapon, right? So yeah. So essentially what you want to do is, if you land every shot of your Stitcher, you're going to down someone. Now, obviously that's probably not going to happen because they're going to be running, they're going to be sliding, they're going to be shooting back, and things get pretty chaotic. You may be being shot by the arc bots, you know, taking flinch damage and missing your shots, whatever. So what you want to do is you want to switch to a second Stitcher. And if you don't have a Stitcher, you want to switch to literally anything else, because the Stitcher is your opener weapon, and instead of having to reload it, which it has a fast reload, it reloads pretty quick compared to a lot of other guns. It has 20 shots. This is your best in-slot PvP weapon when it comes to other players. Indoors, not outdoors, not like if you're outdoors and they're like way over here in the distance, you're not gonna, the bullet spread is way too big, the recoil is way too big to ever kill anyone with a Stitcher. But if you are indoors, right, if you're like, you know, indoors and you're close by, and you're like say you're like in a building and they're like up here and you're like, like you're gonna land all those hits and they're gonna be heavily wounded, alright? But never, ever, ever in a PvP fight, once you're out of ammo, reload. Switch to your second weapon, and then unload on them this way. And for this one, this is the kettle, which it's all right. It's a good second choice. It's not the best. You really want something fully automatic because you don't want to sit there and have to be clicking and clacking. And while a kettle can bring an unshielded target down, it brings it down way slower. All right. So, while, yes, I have a kettle, and if I'm landing all of my hits, boom, they're dead, right? With some bullets to spare. It's not going to be your opener because of how slow it reloads, how slow it is to pull out. By the way, look how slow it is to pull out the kettle versus how fast we pull out the Stitcher. The Stitcher, having 2 Stitchers, is the meta, alright? You pull out the Stitcher, you pop them, they're done, alright? And then as far as shielded targets go, yeah, you're going to have to, you know, you swap to your second Stitcher, which I don't have, so I'm going to have to reload this one, and then they're down. You can see that, like, even with a heavy shield, just one clip of the Stitcher into the chest, like, even if I weapon swap it, right? So let's say I unload here, I swap, and preferably something faster, and then they're downed, okay? So this is why heavy shield is not the meta, because the medium shield gives very similar protection for way more mobility. By the way, while you're in the in the shooting range, the guns do come back. So does the ammo. So you can research these and get more ammo. You're never fully out. So now we have 2 Stitchers. They take time to respawn though. But you can see here it's way faster to swap between Stitchers than it is the kettle. But yeah, you know, let's say I'm out of ammo, swap, and then continue shooting. And you know, let's say there's another guy here, a heavy shielded guy, swap. And, well, I ran out of bullets from both guns, but you get the idea. So, again, Stitchers are the way to go when indoors fighting against other targets. And, again, this is just Tier 0 and Tier 1 weapons. When you get to the higher tier stuff, anvils and pharaohs are way more reliable, which I don't have the higher level pharaohs in the shooting range. But, essentially, you shoot a bunch of anvils, and then you swap to pharaoh to finish them off. And, oh, we need heavy ammo, yeah. So, again, the Pharaoh is the sniper, so it's very accurate, but it's a one-shot, you gotta reload. So this is more of the killing blow weapon that you would use. This is not something that you would engage other players with. Now, obviously, if they are far away, this is what you would want to use. Like, if I'm trying to fight like this spot there, you can see, boom, direct hit, though that was not a weak point hit. Let's see. I think I missed that one completely. I think I'm a little too adjusted to other games and their bullet drop, but yeah. Okay, I think that one hit. Alright, let's see. No. If it hit, it would have popped off the rotor. Yeah, there we go. So that's a kill. But essentially, yeah. If you're fighting another player from a distance, then you would obviously use a sniper. But the anvil is your medium-long distance pistol. It has 6 shots, and it deals tremendous damage, and that has a higher time to kill than dual Stitchers, alright? But again, that's Tier 2 category. As far as grenades go, you should only open with a grenade if the enemy does not see you. The damage is okay. Like, here's the light impact grenade. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. So, again, 4 light impact grenades on an unshielded target. And, again, they take a while to throw. You can't just spam them like crazy. So, again, if someone's, like, in a building or behind cover, yeah, throw a grenade at them. Boom, right? That's one way to flush them out. It's splash damage. It's a way to hit them when they can't return fire to you. If you want to hide behind cover, this is all basic shooting game stuff I shouldn't have to explain, but if you're hiding behind cover, you can obviously throw grenades from cover and try to hit them with that. Though the aiming is a little wonky. It's a little hard to do, but it's something you can do. Now, the snap blast grenade, which is this thing that sticks to enemies, it's very easy to stick enemies with this. You just need 2. You just need 2. But so what you want to do is if you snuck up on someone, you stick them and you just start blasting, and that is a very quick way to kill someone if you have the opener. And again, this game is all about openers because you can literally hide behind cover and use your third-person camera. Like, for instance, let's pretend this is a real player, this target dummy here, and I'm hiding behind the wall. The target dummy has no way to see me behind this wall, but I can see him. So when his back is turned, I can prime a grenade, throw the grenade, and then start unloading, and he's dead before he can even react. As far as the heavy fuse grenade goes, it's also a 2-hit kill on unshielded. It has a pretty good blast radius, though it kind of bounces unpredictably. You can see that hit did not even hit the target dummy. This is because the grenade, the way it's coded, it needs line of sight. So because the grenade blew up here, it does not have line of sight to this, meaning this took no damage. So again, this is just something you just have to learn over time. And as far as the trigger nade, I have honestly never found this on the first map. All right, I have never ever found this, but there you go. You can drop it down, make a little ambush, and it looks like I'm taking splash damage from my character, which is fine. There we go. So that's it's a 2-shot grenade. I wonder, can I detonate this as I throw it in the air? Again, I've never seen these. Yeah, you can totally detonate it in the air. So that's neat. That might be a way to kill, like, flying arcs or whatever, but I don't know where to get these. They might be craft only. I have never looted one, ever. Another tip that a lot of people don't actually know is that if you don't have any bandages, but you can break down something that turns into fabric, fabric itself can be used as a bandage. It's not as good as a bandage, but you can just use the fabric and, yeah, somehow it heals you. It heals very slowly, though. You can see it is really slow on healing, but it's better than nothing, all right? So I want to talk about a few things here. So turrets, currently this functionality does not work in the game, but security cameras are supposed to spot for these. Again, it's not currently in the game for some reason. Either they forgot or they nerfed it. But if you're ever up against a turret, shooting it from the front deals very little damage. What you want to do is you want to shoot it in the back with this metal ring thing. I know that may not make sense, but just anything in the back of this turret, especially like this little sensor part here, you just shoot the back, right? Like normally you're just gonna be and it's dead, right? Again, just shoot that metal ring thing and you're fine. All right, I know that looks like a big metal protective barrier, but that's really the best place to shoot it. It doesn't make sense, but again, that's all you need. Also, you can here you can hit the button and it'll pump out a new turret from the ground. Also, deployable barriers, they have basically infinite HP, so you can just stand behind these, and if you're playing on a team, your friend can aggro the turret, and then another friend can run around behind it and blow it up. But yeah, way more efficient to just fight them that way. Also, if you ever wanted to test out healing here, you can let the turret shoot you so you can heal up. There's a lot of testing you can do here. So if the turret does manage to kill you for whatever reason in the shooting range, you'll just revive back at the spawn. So it's totally fine. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's pretty simple stuff. Also, there used to be a button. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they moved it. There used to be like a little control console to call the elevator back down, but now it's just on the platform in case you're trying to figure out how to get the elevator back down. Wait, more tips. If you are ever in a spot in the game where you need to use the ladder, while you could climb it like this, it's actually rather slow to do it that way. What you want to do, and this takes a little bit of practice, is you want to push the E button to climb, spacebar E, spacebar E, and I kind of messed it up there, but you will climb ladders insanely fast this way, because what you're doing is you're jump canceling the climb animation while re-clinging to it. So again, it's very, like, once you get the timing down, you can scale ladders insanely fast. It looks goofy as hell, but it's going to save your life, because if you're climbing up and down a ladder normally, like climbing down, you just slide down, it's whatever, but climbing up, yeah, this is as fast as we can climb. It's so slow, right? It's so freaking slow. You can also drop down and then climb it that way instead of sliding down. But again, just get used to jump canceling and climbing ladders this way. It's you still have to do the vaulting animation here at the top. And if you have your weapon put away, that animation is also faster. So let me show you with no weapon out. And again, we're climbing, and okay, that didn't look much faster. I don't know why, but it's normally supposed to be faster when you vault without a gun. So let's see. This is a climbing up animation with no gun drawn. But when you have the gun drawn, here it is. You can see there's a little bit of a delay. It's not much though. Now, just another tip, sometimes you're going to need to fall from a tall distance. And if you do fall from a tall distance, you will take fall damage and it could potentially kill you, alright? So let me give you a tip on how to survive. So first off, let me show you what not to do. Let's say I'm being shot by, like, right here from this guy, and my only way out is to jump off this ledge. Well, if I jump off the ledge, I take fall damage, which sucks. And then I get hit stunned and I'm on the ground, blah, 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 right? So instead, there's a few things, a few game mechanics that you should learn, and that is how the mantling system works. Mantling is whenever you climb up or down something. So the way that you can hang off the ledge, and the way to do that is as you're falling, push the space bar, and you'll grab the ledge. So practice that, and if you push nothing, if you grab the ledge and push nothing, you will climb up the ledge. So there you go. Now, if you are holding onto the ledge, and you push the crouch button, you will let go of the ledge. So it looks like this. And then you let go and you fall, and you still take fall damage, right? So that's no good either, right? But so how do you survive it? Well, in this particular case, it's just set up in such a way that you can practice this game mechanic. And if you've ever played like an old Metal Gear Solid 2 game, this is something you might have had to done at some point. But essentially, you're going to grab the ledge, drop, grab the ledge below that, drop, or climb over it, grab the ledge, and drop. And essentially, by grabbing things on your descent, or as you fall, it will negate all fall damage that you would have otherwise taken. I know this sounds like a no-brainer, but practicing this will save your life when you're playing the actual game. So again, grab, and again, you want to just kind of spam crouch, and then spam spacebar, spam crouch, spam spacebar. So if you're really good, you'll grab this ledge, and then grab this box on the way down. And there are a lot of shortcuts in the game on maps that use this mechanic that will allow you to, like, go to the top floor of a building, loot all the best purple stuff, and then you will be able to just scale down the building like some sort of parkour supermaster and run to the extract while everyone else is taking elevators and running downstairs and navigating the inside of a building, but you're just scaling the outside of the building. Also, if you bring zip lines into a match, you could zip line up things and save a lot of time as well. Another thing, just real quick, in the shooting range, I want to show you there is a jump puzzle. So right here, if you go up the zip line, it'll put you on this box. You run over here, and duck under this, climb this little hidden ledge here, not really hidden. Walk along the pipe, and if you want to walk along a scaffolding that's very thin, you see the little white dot in the middle of my screen, just aim at the scaffolding, and that's how you're going to prevent yourself from falling. Then you do a simple jump puzzle where you just jump the gaps, and again, I actually messed up the jump puzzle, so I'll skip ahead. Before I show you the jump puzzle solution, there's so many instances where you need to use this this drop mechanic. So like, if I need to get down here quickly, I can simply just drop here, drop here, and then there we go. No fall damage. It's insanely efficient to play this way. Anyway, after successfully jumping across the gaps, you'll find the, what is this? This is the torrent. There we go, and yes, that is weighing me down. So this is a Torrent 3. This is a light machine gun. This is insanely powerful. It uses medium ammo, which the game, handsomely gives you here. I'm going to go ahead and just drop some of my stuff to the ground here so that I am not over encumbered. And let me show you this bad boy. Now, this is a scary weapon. I have never seen a player with this weapon. I want you to see how fast this kills an unshielded player. Yeah, it's barely... Here, hold on. Let me reload so I can give you an exact bullet count. This thing fires insanely fast, by the way. So I'm going to just hold left click, and when this drops, I'm going to let go. There we go. So, that was like 13 shots. So yeah, the time to kill, here's a heavy shielded opponent. Like, he's already dead. Oh wait, is he? There's so much smoke, it's hard to tell, right? So yeah, boom. 2 players dead, 3 players dead. Come back to this guy. And again, this thing shreds. It is insane. And I think this is probably going to be the in-game weapon. Also, yeah, the bots, they just die. They just ragdoll all over the place. Now, as far as shooting targets far away, I mean, yeah, the bullet spread is way too far. Obviously, you won't be able to land hits with this. But this thing is crazy, crazy powerful, right? Again, you would just go into a room and unload and kill everything. So, yeah. tip too is if you ever find a gun that you don't want or don't want to carry or it, you know, it weighs you down, don't forget you can right click and unload the weapon, and then you can, you know, do whatever you want with the weapon, right? Though in this case, this would be a really good weapon to sell, so you'd want to extract with this thing. But if it's like a crappy tier 0 weapon, you still want to yoink the ammo out of it, alright? Another thing I want to show you is how to scale buildings that you would otherwise, you wouldn't be able to climb, okay? So imagine like this building, right? Obviously you can climb up to this floor, that's no problem. But there's no way to get to this floor. Well, okay, yeah, if you were to come right here, you could totally do it. But let's pretend that this isn't sloped in a way that you can reach from the ground, alright? But let's say you're in a building, and you want to climb up a floor, and the floor above you is kind of like this. So this is something you can do, and what you're going to do is run parallel along the edge of where you're at, and you're going to clip onto this, so it looks like this. And, well, I kind of did it wrong, but you're going, when you jump, you're going to spam spacebar, and you're going to swivel your camera towards the ledge. It's a little tricky to do, but jump out and jump up like that. So, again, we jump out, we swivel the camera, we're spamming spacebar, and our character will latch onto it. This allows you to get on top of things that I don't think the game devs have really planned for. So you can get like a sniper's vantage point, you can get above an opponent to shoot down on them and get those juicy headshots. And remember, at the end of the day, when you want to get down, you just do the drop method, and again, mastering these things are going to make you such an amazing player in Arc Raiders. So another tip, if enemies use mines or traps, you will hear them when you get close, but instead of shooting them and detonating them, which is what the enemy would want you to do, so they're now alerted to you, you can crouch towards it and then dismantle it by holding the use button. For some reason, the game's not letting me do it, though. I'm not sure why. But it is something that you can normally do in the game. And again, things like this. Like I just taught you how to climb. If you try to climb this bus, well, okay, this bus is actually letting me climb it. But normally you wouldn't be able to just vault up this thing. It's too tall. But if you do a running angle from a higher, you know, slant and then swivel your camera, that works also. There's so many jump puzzles in the maps hidden by the devs. Like you can jump on this rock and then jump up on the bus. There's a lot of these on maps. You can get to some very high, interesting places that other players think might be impossible. Also, late game, when you have a high-level character, there is a perk where you can one-shot robots with your hammer. Now, only the flying ones, not the big spiders or anything large. But the regular non-rocket flying ones, you could one-tap them. Although this perk, you can clearly see these small ones, you can two-tap them. So there's really not a whole lot of specialization there. But the medium-sized ones with 4 rotors, if you manage to get one indoors and you can run up to it, you can just doink it and save a whole lot of ammo on killing those. But by the time you're that high level, you probably won't be farming them anymore anyway. Another fun tip is that you can use barricade kits to also get to places that the game never intended to go out of bounds and go on top of buildings you should never actually be able to reach. And it's a little bit tricky, but if you have 2 of them, you can put them facing each other so that they make a walkway. But generally, you would use it kind of as a stepping stool. Also, these things are great at blocking door buttons, because it forces like if I were to shut this door and put a barricade in front of it, it forces a player to have to undo the barricade before they can open the door. There's a lot of uses with barricades, a lot of creative stuff, but essentially you can climb these. You can climb on the top of them. And if you have one near a building, you can use that building so that you don't get you don't vault over it, and use it as a walkway path. So for instance, I can climb up the barricade like this, especially if you get it if you jump at it at a straight angle, you can just walk on a single barricade. Otherwise, you would need 2 of these to have a thick enough walking space. And it can be a little tricky, but just spam spacebar, you'll eventually get it. And then using this as like a stepping stool, you can climb even higher spots. And you used to be able to dismantle it from the top, but doesn't look like the game's going to let me do that anymore. I think they patched that. But yeah, you can absolutely use these things to climb up to places that the devs never intended. So I'm sure a lot of players are going to figure out a lot of fun spots to climb on. Also, zip lines can be used in a similar fashion to get to places where you really shouldn't be allowed to go to. But like for instance, there we go. And now I can just... Hold on, let's unequip the zip line. Well, hello? I'm trying to unequip it. There we go. Alright, I don't know why it wouldn't let me, but yeah. So here we go. Now we can get to the very top of the map here. And, okay, it didn't work. I don't know why. That's a death trap. Oh, there's an invisible wall here that, knocks me off of the zip line. So, bummer. What this means is that you could set up a death zip line and then have another player, you know, see the zip line like, oh boy. And the player, unknowingly, will use the zip line, fall to their death, and then you scoop up the loot. It's a nice little trap, I think. Wait, if you're ever, like, going up a zip line, you can go down. You technically can't change the direction, but in order to do this, face back downwards, hit the jump button, and push E, and you'll slide back down. Now, you cannot slide back up. If you drop, you will not be able to latch back to it to go the other way, so this is a one-way trick. You can also do this while falling, so if you jump out of a zip line, you can latch to it that way. And if you're on a zip line, you can use a zip line to jump to another one, though the timing is very tricky. So, yeah, I managed to do it that time, but most of the time you're gonna miss. It's pretty hard timing. It'll take some practice. Also, if you don't know what the fast extraction things look like, they look like this, and you have the Raider hatch key, so once you have the key, you would normally be able to use this console, this thing would open, and then you're out immediately. But because it's the shooting range, it does not function for whatever reason, so just keep that in mind. Another thing that you can kind of do for some XP that's better than nothing is AFKing, alright? The longer you stay in a match, the more points you will get, and because unlike Tarkov and other games, your character will not dehydrate or starve to death or anything of the sort, you can simply just get to a point on the corner of the map or hidden in a hole somewhere that people aren't going to go to, and just, you know, make sure you're hidden in like a bush or something, and go AFK if you need to do, like, you know, chores or something comes up in real life, but you still want to level your character. This is something that you can do. Just join in with a free kit, find a nice spot to, you know, crouch down in, and come back 30 minutes later, and the XP is not bad. It's alright. You get a decent amount for just staying in the match as long as possible, even if you die, even if you don't extract. Also, if you happen to come back before the time is up, again, matches are 30 minutes long. Look at that, there's already someone dying down there. But, you know, with only a few minutes remaining on the timer, you might find a lot of dead bodies, a lot of corpses near extraction points, and so it's also a viable method. So in this case, maybe I would just, like, crouch behind this little mountain here or something and, you know, just walk away for 30 minutes. So this is not really a good hiding spot. You really want something far away from everybody that no one's going to see, no one's going to randomly pan around and see, no hackers, radar, ESP hackers are going to see. So just something out of the way, and, yeah, so I can still be seen from, like, these viewing angles, but, oh, this might not be a bad spot. Like, players aren't going to wander around out here most of the time. And so just getting somewhere in a nice little corner to park is free XP. We have about 56 seconds remaining in the game here. I've been AFK in this mountain the whole time. And let's see if there's anything I can kind of play here or do. No, there's no way to make it 330 meters in 30 seconds, right? But you'll see that once the time runs out, we'll die. And we'll get a bunch of XP for it. So, while we're here, we might as well maybe try to kill a few robots, but again, if you just were to AFK and come back to a death screen, it's still good XP. I'm gonna fast forward here. We got 4 seconds, let's see if we can breach this thing and get some breach XP. Nope, okay, boom, everything explodes, we're dead, whatever. But let me show you the XP that we've earned just completely AFK. Again, I spent my time just making some food, knocked out yourself, oh boy. Right, continue, yes. But look at that. 500 XP. Time on surface, 5,349, which got us a level up. That's a huge chunk of XP for just doing nothing at all. You can see that the next level, to get to level 4, is going to take about 8,500 XP. So again, that's if you got stuff to do in real life, this is a viable way to increase your character. Now, another PvE technique that you may not realize is that you can actually ride on the drones. That's right. If they fly low enough, you can mantle on top of them, and then you can melee them from the top and kill them that way, though. And this is just the shooting range. You can do it to the real ones. There's many clips online if you don't believe me. many little, streamer moments of people jumping on these things and then bashing them with their hammer. It's totally plausible, and it's actually a valid strategy. Instead of buying or crafting the Raider hatch keys, you can find them in yellow and red outposts, though they are kind of rare. Here I have one in my safe pocket, and yeah, I just ran in unarmed just to loot and scoot. Didn't really plan to, but I did not bring a Raider hatch key. This was found just in a cabinet. So they're not in any kind of special loot containers. They are simply just out randomly in anything you can search. I happened to find the Torrente 2, which is nice. Don't have any bullets for it, but hey, it's not the level 3 one, it's just the level 2 one. So, that one, at least I know that it does exist. Remember how I showed you how to earn 5,000 XP by simply AFKing and doing literally nothing? Well, this is a tryhard round, where I scavenged everything I could completely naked so that I could pick up as much stuff as possible, killed every robot that I could possibly see, even killed other players, managed to escape, and so on and so forth, and I'm only getting 10,900, so you could just earn 5,000 XP every 30 minutes for free doing nothing, or you can earn 10k, you know, playing for 15, 20 minutes at a time and getting lucky and outplaying other players. The XP scaling just isn't worth it if you play in a general sense. This is why you want to have an arc farming set so you can just kill robots as quickly as possible, because you can see you're like killing one robot's 150, damaging the bigger ones is 350. And yeah, killing players is like, 500, and damaging them is another almost 500. But just going around the map and killing all the small robots is one way to farm XP if you don't want to AFK it. Oh, and if you're wondering how level 1 Scrappy works, every 2 minutes that you spend in the game, you get one piece of this stuff, and then it's like every 1.2 minute, or I'm sorry, it's like 2.33 minutes is a seed, which you can use the seeds to buy all the other stuff. So, again, this is based on time spent in a match, with a cap of 12. So, if you were to spend a full 30 minutes in a match, you would get 12 metal parts and 12 blah blah blah. So, essentially, the way it's balanced out is that if you spend more than 24 minutes in a match, that Scrappy is not as efficient, if anyone cares about this stuff. Now, one dastardly thing that you can do, let's say you've been running around the map and looting and stuff, and you're now cornered in a room, and you know you're going to die, and there's a bunch of enemies, and you have no shield and barely any health left. You can't do this if you're already downed, but if you are still able to run around, what you can do is just right-click all the valuable junk in your inventory, like say, I don't want the enemy to have this jolt mine. You can right-click it, salvage it. Boom. Salvage the battery into metal parts, and then just drop it. Just chunk it on the ground. And this makes, when enemies kill you, it makes them such a pain in the ass to loot all the little bits, and they won't get anything valuable. You can be like, no, you don't get my arc alloy, and, salvage out the metal parts so they can't heal their shields after they're done. Just salvage everything that you have, and make it so that when they kill you, that you are absolutely not worth killing, or that it wasn't worth it at all. It was all in vain. This is basically like trashing your own loot before dying in a full loot PvP game. And again, if you can manage to, throw some stuff in a random corner, then it makes... They can't just scoop up all the loot from your corpse. They have to actually run around and grab everything willy-nilly, and that's just going to waste their time. So, it's dastardly, and it's a little bit, I wouldn't say unfair. I would say it's more like, I don't know, vindictive or something, but it is a valid strategy. When breaching and searching things, some things require you to do the full cast bar. You can see this trunk or hood. If I cancel it, I have to start all over again until I breach it open. But there are some things that you can breach, that you can chip away at, walk away from, and then come back to, and you can finish up really quickly. So one thing that you can do is like breach everything to 99%, make sure the area is clear, and then you can pop everything open super quick and loot it all. It's a real niche use, but it's still something that you might find useful. As far as looting items goes, even though the red and the yellow areas are technically the best loot on the map, where you're most likely to get rare things, weapons, and keys, you should still not overlook other things, alright? You have different types of places. You have, even though you see like nature, industrial, security, blah, 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 blah here on the right, there's still other things. There's residential and whatnot. So if you hover over an item, for instance, this frying pan, you can see this item can be found in residential. And so you would look around the map. Here is apartments, that's a resident. Ruby residence, that's a resident. You go to the tower, that's not a resident, or the breach. None of these are residents, right? So if you are looking for specific items, you need to go to the specific areas, and you can find things like, even though this is just a non-interesting part of the map, I still have this rare drop here, this complex gun part, so you can still find rare stuff in non-rare monuments. Yes, even the non-rare monuments can have guns with bullets in them. Again, I found a gun in a freaking trash can, bro. Like, a lot of people, they overlook these areas. These areas are actually very rich with resources, alright? You get lots of blues from them. They're great if you want to farm money, and no one ever comes here, so it's very peaceful if you're, you know, antisocial or you don't like conflict or anything. Also, if you happen to be in one of these buildings and you hear people outside, it's a really good vantage point for shooting. I just, a lot of people overlook these monuments because they're not marked on the map. They're not bright and shiny and highlighted. So, again, don't ignore them. They're good. The tip is inventory management, right? So you can see here, I can't loot these steel springs. However, in my quick use section, you can't drag the springs to the quick use section. But you can drag the fabric to your quick use section. It would free up space for the springs. Alright, and then as far as medium ammo goes, you can see that this gun has 58 out of 100. Or no, it doesn't, I'm sorry. It has a magazine of 24 out of 24. And if I didn't, I could always unload the ammo. Or rather, I could load the bullets into this by just dropping things in. Again, I shouldn't have to explain basic inventory management. You get what I'm saying. Now, when you are a bit more advanced and you have played for a while, what I recommend that you stop doing is looting the most raw basic gray materials, like, for instance, chemicals and metal parts and stuff like that, because you get these from Scrappy and you're going to have so much of these that they just eat up space. So, like, I'd rather have the humidifier than 8 metal parts, because Scrappy is going to give me, you know, plenty of metal parts. I'm going to have so many of these that I don't need them, right? Remember, whenever you loot tall buildings, remember your parkour training. Let's see if I can do it. Alright, so I didn't mean to vault there, but, oh, this one's gonna be a little tricky because this ledge, yeah, here we go, and drop down, and drop down, and drop down, and there we go. We have completely, we don't, like, say you hear bad guys running up the floors coming to get you. Well, you just parkour down and leave, and then they're gonna have to run all the way back down because, they're not gonna jump off the building. It's a skill that you just want to practice your movement, man. Once you have mastered movement in these types of games, everything becomes so much more fun. I bet you're wondering, can the elevator crush you to death? Let's find out. I don't know. I've never tried this. Let's see if this makes me into a pancake. Alright, here we go. And no, it just pushes me out of the way. That's a bummer. Let's say you really want to extract bad, but the other extraction points are really, really heated at the moment. There's a lot of gunshots and robots running around. So what you can do instead, and this is a 50-50 really, you can go to one of the Raider hatch areas, and if someone else has already unlocked it, you can still use it. Or you can exfil camp it, and wait until someone comes to use it, and have them unlock the door, and then follow behind them. Or you can simply kill them and take their key, and, you know, extract with all their stuff. So, again, if you were a patient gamer, you know, you could just set up shop nearby, and whenever, you know, just keep a watchful eye on it. When you hear someone approaching, bang, 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 and then the loot is yours with a quick extract. And I feel like that's what a lot of people are going to be doing. So if you're approaching an extract point, the public ones, you can hear them from 100 meters away if they're opening or not. So you can see this one just popped open, and I'm not going to make it before the doors close. So, yeah, you can hear when someone activates it 100 meters away. So just set 100 meters, and when they push the button, you can go run in with them, kill them, whatever you want to do, however you want to play it. But the more you know. I want to talk about cover and concealment. So concealment would be like these bushes. I'm slightly concealed. This won't save you from a hacker. So hackers can see you through walls, they can see you through bushes, and people altering their game files can see you. They're just going to turn off all the foliage and the bushes and the grass. So this doesn't work, but cover is when someone tries to shoot you behind an object, and they can't shoot through that object, so therefore you're safe behind it. Alright, I'm getting shot by... Is it player? No, that's a robot. That's fine. Again, if a robot downs you, you can just... It won't attack you when you're crawling, and when you're crawling, you can still activate this little machine thing, so... It's fine, just tank the hits like a man, and there you go. So, even though I trashed all my gear at the start of this run, I still managed to get a full inventory, 2 guns, etc. And I didn't even go to a rare location. I just went to some apartments, and look, you can see here, I went to these apartments and looted everything, and then just did a straight thing right down to here. Very simple run. I saw one player in the distance, and that was literally it. You can absolutely do runs like this without ever encountering players. If that's how you want to play it, that's fine. Again, this safe or, you know, timid play style, you know, there's going to be people on, like, forums, Reddit, and Discords going, people are ruining the game playing this way, but it's fine. You know, it's whatever makes your character level up and gets you more money, okay? Do what you got to do. But you can see this type of playstyle earns about 9,000 XP, which is fine. It's slightly better than AFKing, really. Now, one looting pro tip is that if you've decided to loot, say, a residential area, then if you really want to loot max, as they say, you should loot all the other residential areas because your items will stack, like, say, polluted air filter, toasters, etc. You want to stack up these items, and instead of having just one of everything, you can have, you know, like, 3 toasters, 3 air filters, and so on and so forth. And so it's more ideal to loot similar areas that you start looting. Also, the rocket drone can one-shot you even through your shields. They look like this. They have 4 rotors. They're really big and thick. And you really don't want to fight these unless you have a team with you or you have really, really good weapons, because you have to take out 2 of the 4 rotors, and it just needs 1 hit to kill you. It sucks. It's not a fun fight. The thing I love about the rocket drones, I don't know their official name. They are really good to follow around if you want to just loot dead player bodies or third-party people. There's a player in here right now in this building. See him right there? It's really hard to see him, but he is there. And he is fighting this rocket drone. I don't know why, but once he dies, that's free loot for me, or I can just go kill him, and or I could wait for him to possibly kill the rocket drone and then finish him off. See, look, there's another player there, and they're throwing stuff at him. They're actively fighting it, and here comes some more rockets. Look at that. Oh boy. But yeah, it's if you have a sniper, oh man, just like bloink, bloink, and then they're dead. It's a lot of fun, and follow those things around if you want some free loot, some easy action. And if you're wondering, you can always find a rocket drone here at the North Complex elevator. There's always one guarding this area. That's why I don't really like looting this zone. It's very vertical zone. Not really my favorite. If I tend to spawn up here and I'm using a free kit, I'll just die and re-queue up because this area kind of sucks. But there's definitely a lot of action. It's probably the most... If you want PvP, the top right of the map here is... Oh, I'm getting shot by somebody. Somebody's behind me on the ledge there. You see him? Yeah, okay. Well, they two-shotted me. There you go. Shouldn't be AFK on a mountain anyway. And if you're ever wondering, how did you die so quick? I mean, the death screen will tell you. He had a level 4 sniper and a 3 burst assault rifle, so pretty easy to die from a level 4 sniper. It's okay, it's just the circle of life, bros. I was talking about sniping the people fighting the rocket drone, and then I'm getting sniped. And, you know, that's just, it's like, what does that mean? Where the space people, the astronauts, I can't remember the word. They're in space, and it's like, oh, the Earth is whatever, and then there's a guy with a pistol pointing at me, and it's like, always has been. I'm really bad at retelling memes, but you know what I'm saying. By the way, these are really hard to see, but these are raider caches, and I'm sure someone's going to map them all out at some point on some website. These things generally have pretty damn good loot, so if you happen to run across one, make sure you grab it. Let's see what I get. Some ammo, light shield, and heavy fuse grenade. By the way, I just want to point out, if you manage to kill a player, you can take their light shield and you can salvage an arc alloy out of it, and you can use this to recharge your shield. I'm pretty sure that's what that does. I could be wrong, but sometimes, I know some people's shields, whenever I salvage their shields, I get a shield heal out of it, and sometimes I guess I don't. Another salvaging tip is that if you get something that is explosive in nature, like these explosive compound, you can salvage it for crude explosives, which you really shouldn't do, but you can actually throw crude explosives as a last-ditch effort grenade. You need a direct hit with it, though. It's not going to really blow up and do much otherwise. Oh, we got one of these. These things are pretty good in loot, too. Now, I know it says PvE at the top, but I'm going to talk about PvP also. So let's pretend I have the sniper right now, right? And let's pretend a player is on top of this machine, this mech. Well, I could shoot him with a sniper, but it would kill him. It would wound him a bit. So what he's going to do is he's going to run the opposite direction from whence I shot him. He's going to heal up, and that'll be that. So I will have wasted a bullet for nothing. So what you should do instead is sneak up on him, make sure he doesn't see you, and then do a grenade sniper combo. That way you can secure his loot. If you're just shooting at people willy-nilly because, oh, I see a player, bang, 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 you're not playing as smart as you can be. You generally only want to engage in an opponent if you know you can kill them or you have the ability to chase them. Whereas if you're just, you know, shooting targets with your sniper at a distance, yeah, you get XP for hitting them. That's fine. If you just want to farm XP, that's okay. But if you want to get the looties that they have, then you've got to think a little bit more than just zug zug, ooh, me see bad guy, me shoot bad guy. Also, if you're wondering why the game volume is muting every time I end a clip, when I alt-tab, the sound goes away because I'm going to hit my stop recording button. Oh, here's what I'm thinking of, the arc power cell. Yeah, you can get these sometimes from disassembling stuff. So anything that might have an arc power cell, just right-click it, see if you can get one. And if so, yeah, that's the thing that you want, because then you can start slowly patching up your shield. Like, for instance, I got sniped earlier. Again, I'm using myself as an example. And that'll recharge a little bit of shield. If you can't decide what you want to do in the game, use the free kit, and whatever the kit gives you is what you should do. For instance, the kit gave me a Pharaoh, which is the sniper. Alright, and so, I mean, they're calling it a battle rifle. I know there's actual sniper rifles later, but this is basically baby's first sniper rifle. So, when I get this, I like to go hunt the Arc robots. It's a really good way to farm XP, right? If I get the Stitch, then I go PvP, because it's the best time to kill gun. It really depends on what kind of kit you get. But that's just one way to decide, oh, I don't know what I want to do today, so that's a way to help you out. Perfect opportunity. I don't know if this guy's AFK or what's going on, but let's see if I can... You can also just melee them too, right? But this is way more efficient. Oh, he's moving. He's moving a little bit. That's an AFK animation, I guess. Alright, and... There we go. And he's dead. Yep. There we go, comboed. And... I think he's just AFK, so I could have just meleeed him, but whatever. Boink. He might have spawned in. And, yeah, there, oh, he's got a Stitch. Look at that. Smoke grenade, cool. Cool, take that. Yeah, why not? You can, again, salvage arc alloy. What else can we salvage out of here? And I know I'm spending a lot of time in this menu, but it is what it is. Well, whatever. Anyway, that's how you combo people. Another thing to note is when searching or salvaging, you'll notice that like these lockers have already been opened. That means another player has already looked through them. So there's probably nothing good in here, but you can still open and then close the menu, and you'll still get 200 XP for it. So it's just if you want to farm XP, you know, this is how you do it. Whereas this one is not open. You can see the player model. Ooh, kinetic converter. Look at that. Wow. Legendary. I have never seen that. Cool. But yeah, you see how the player model opened the actual locker? I'm hearing noises. Heard some noises. But yeah, that's how you can tell if something's been looted or not, or if players have been in the area. So one loadout that I have a lot of fun with in the last beta, because you can't craft them in this beta, but landmine builds. So what I like to do is I will just put a bunch of landmines right here at the control panel. And what a player will do is they're gonna want to get out, and they're just gonna be like, oh man, finally, let's go, 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 and then they'll just blow up and die, and then I'll pick up their key and escape with all their stuff. All the while, I'm just like chilling somewhere, like in a corner, just doing whatever, just chilling here, and I'll just be doing something else. I won't even be paying attention to my computer. I'll be like, I don't know, sweeping the floors or something, and oh man, and then I hear like, and then I just go back to my computer and collect the loot. It's a lot of fun. You should try it out. Another tip is when looking at enemy drones, if they have a red, orange, or orange, or even a yellow light, oh, where'd it go? That means they saw a player. So you can see this one. He's got an orange light right now. So he's on the hunt for somebody. He sees somebody, and he's kind of moving around at a pretty accelerated rate. That means there could be a player that this robot is following or hunting. A little hard to see because it's a bit rainy out, but might be worth investigating or not. It's up to you. A few other things too is that if you see a car with the lights lit up like this, or like especially the brake lights, that means if you get near it, the alarm will sound. So it's like this, and that will attract players or robots. So you generally want to give a wide berth of cars that are still powered up, so to speak. One thing I like to do later on is throw smoke grenades when extracting. This way robots can't interrupt you. Players might or might not shoot blindly into the smoke, but smoke bombs are really, really cheap later on, and so if you happen to have one when extracting, just toss it down and enjoy the safety it gives. If a container just says breach, you can cancel it, and you can come back and pick up where you left off on progress. So if someone's shooting you, don't like, oh, I'm just gonna finish, you know, breaching this and then grab everything. No, you can come back. It won't reset the progression. There we go. When fighting these, I think they're called wasps or hornets, I forget. But you can... it crashed. Whenever they charge up their attack, you will see a light beam emit from them. And once that beam focuses into a singular line, you can push your dodge button, and it'll never hit you with its taser. So, yeah, that's just a little easy, quick, and simple tip to fight those guys. So I got aggro on a couple of them here. I want to climb them. I want to try to climb them. Oh, come on. Alright, let's kite them back inside. And yeah, the AIs, they're not so good when it comes to indoor stuff. But yeah, see, okay, well, I kind of climbed it. Yeah, now we're surfing it. Sorta. Okay, no, it shook me off. But, yeah, you can totally jump on these things and then smash them. Also, I think someone's shooting at me, or maybe that's one of the drones. I'm not really sure, but... In my opinion, my favorite place to loot on this map is the hydroponic dome complex. So what I like to do is go into this top left little circular dome thing where I'm at. There's almost always one of these battery pack things. You just face south-southwest into this little trailer here with the radar on it. And this will get you some really good guns. Like, if you just care about getting good guns, this is the best way to farm good guns, at least on the first map. With almost nothing, and you just put the battery right in here, and there you go. And then this opens up, and you can see I already have an anvil here. So let's see what we get. All right, yeah, blaze grenade. Yeah, absolutely take the blaze grenade. Yeah, take the Berletta and a Pharaoh 2. So not the best guns this time around, but it's still better than nothing. Also, you can't put stuff in this container for some reason. You have to drop them on the ground. So you can unload the weapon. There we go, and take it like that. But yeah, now I'm over encumbered, of course. But all right, and then even if you don't want to extract, you can. Where is it? There's always one of these things flying around, so we can just, you know, get its attention. There we go. And well, is it gonna come get me? There's also one in the distance too. And then you can fight robots, and you can just fight an endless, you know, amount of robots. Okay, let's not get tased. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and dodge that. But yeah, and then, you know, sometimes when players come here to fight, that's fine. There's no, like, what is it? Verticality in this zone. It's all waist-high cover, and it's all, it's just, like, a really good, like, corners and angles for fighting robots. It's... I would say a fair fight with other players. They're not gonna like get high up and shoot you in the head and stuff. But yeah, if you just want to farm robots, you can pick up some easy guns. And again, if you die, you just go next and do it over and over and over again. Also, it looks like they're starting to come in. And again, you can just kind of fight them in a choke here. Makes it real easy to farm. Again, one of my favorite places. Even though my run got cut a little bit short, I had a bit of internet lag, and when my internet unlagged, I was surrounded by robots tasing me to death. But still, like 12k experience per you know, run, and again, that was a bad run. So again, you can just farm the arc robots in that zone. So I'm curious if the zipline will actually take me all the way to the top of this, because that would make the ultimate little sniper spot, unless someone else uses the zipline, of course. But let's find out. Oh, dude, we can get up here. Look at that. We are up here. Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, that's nice. So, you bring a zip line, you bring a sniper, and then you just go hunting. Yeah. Very fun. Very, very cool. By the way, if the battery does not spawn in this dome, it can spawn here in this big kind of dome here. I can't zoom any more than this. But yeah, that's where it's at. It's not outside or anything. At least I haven't seen it spawn outside. Oh, that's a big mech guarding. Oh, dude, that's trouble. So this big robot may be scary as hell, but the easiest way to fight it is to break its freaking kneecaps. See those yellow kneecaps that it has? First, you shoot that with an armor-piercing gun. That happen. That will expose the armor underneath, and again, just line of sight the bullet. There we go. Get a nice good aim. Also shoot in the eye, I guess, but it won't do much. You want to cripple its legs so that it can't walk anymore. Once you do that, you can easily take it out with a hammer from behind. And so now you know how to progress, you know how to get loot, you know where to go, you know all the tips and tricks for navigation, movement, tech. You know all of that, how to level up, how to upgrade your stuff. You also know all the best places to get loot and guns. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing left to teach you. You can go play if you want. Yeah, anyway, as far as, you know, asking the usual YouTuber slop, like and subscribe, dude, you don't need to subscribe. I'm not going to be making more ARK videos. This is just a one-off. I can't afford the game. It's $40, and I don't think it's worth $40. It's an okay game. It's all right, but I think it should be free to play like it was originally planned, right? So I feel a little bit betrayed that they put a paywall up. But anyway, with that said, do leave a like and leave a comment if you have any questions. I have no social life, so I read all of your comments. All I do. I sit here all day and I refresh YouTube comments and I reply to them. Anyway, with that said, click the video on the right side of your screen. And if you do, the next time that you eat tacos, they will taste a little bit better than they normally do. Think of it as a passive blessing or a buff, like an MMORPG.